Hello, my lovelies. It is time for another Have I Read It? So stay tuned. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Have I Read It is one of my multiple TBR games that I play in order to help pick my TBR for the upcoming month. And the way this one works is you get to help pick my TBR. So I react to a haul from over 3 years ago, and I tell you if I've read the book, if I haven't read the book, or if I've unhauled the book. And out of all the books that I still own that I have not read from that haul, you get to vote on which book or books you want me to read in the upcoming month. And depending on how many are in my unread, will determine how many I have to pick. So if there are 1 to 10, then I have to pick the top voted book. If there's 11 to 20, I have to pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. So in this video, we're going to be reacting to my another May book haul. This was from 2020, and it looks like I only bought 11 more books that month, or I only acquired 11 more books that month. So there should only be one that I have to pick, unless I still own every single one of those 11 and have not read any of them, which is also a possibility. Possible. Okay, let me take this little, I got a snuggly little blanket on, but I'm getting hot because I've also got a sweater on. Okay, I've got my earbuds in, I've got my video pulled up, we are ready to go. All right, ooh, I got shocked. All right, let's go. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today I have another May book haul for you, so stay tuned. So I have 11 more books to haul for May, so I'm just going to jump right into it. If you're interested in any of these books, I will link them down in the description for you to go and check out. So the first book I have here is the third and final book in a trilogy. That is War of the Cards by Colleen Oakes. I have read and still own War of the Cards. I love that series. All right, next up. So the next book here is one that I actually got for Xander. I plan on reading it myself, but it was one that we thought he was going to have to read for his summer reading, but he got accepted into this other school, and so he had to read something else instead. But I'm happy to still have this book, and I plan on reading it myself. That is Loser by Jerry Spinelli. I feel like I still own this one, but I have to check. Okay, it does look like I still own it, and I have not read it. This says, from renowned Newbery-winning author Jerry Spinelli comes a powerful story about how not fitting in just might lead to an incredible life. This classic book is perfect for fans of Gordon Korman and Carl Hyacin. Just like other kids, Zinkoff rides his bike, hopes for snow days, and wants to be like his dad when he grows up. But Zinkoff also raises his hand with all the wrong answers, trips over his own feet, and falls down with laughter over a word like Jabip. Other kids have their own word to describe him, but Zinkoff is too busy to hear it. He doesn't know he's not like everybody else. And one winter night, Zinkoff's differences show that any name can someday become hero. With some of his finest writing to date and great wit and humor, Jerry Spinelli creates a story about a boy's individuality surpassing the need to fit in and the genuine importance of failure. As readers follow Zinkoff from 1st through 6th grade, it becomes impossible not to identify with and root for him through failures and triumphs. The perfect classroom read. So if you want me to read this, vote Loser. And sorry if y'all could hear the scratching and stuff going on. Bella's decided she needed to scratch the carpet behind me while I was trying to read. And the other 2 dogs are outside barking at the neighbor dog. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. Alright, next up. Next up we have Stay Sweet by Siobhan Vivian. I feel like I've read that, but I'm not sure. Also, if it's something that I read earlier this year, I totally wouldn't have it marked because I haven't updated my Goodreads for the whole year, which is going to be really fun trying to catch that up. Yeah. Okay, yes, I have read it and I do still own it. Looks like I read it back in 2021. All right, next up. Next up, we have Hungry Hearts, edited by Elise Chapman and Carolyn Tung Richmond. I'm pretty sure I still own this and I haven't read it. Let me look it up just to make sure. Yes, it would be in my guest room closet. This says a stunning collection of short stories about the intersection of family, culture, and food in the lives of teens from best-selling and critically acclaimed authors including Zendaya Mignon, Anna Marie McLemore, and Ren Chipeco. A shy teenager attempts to express how she really feels through the pastry she makes at her family's pasteria. A tourist from Montenegro desperately seeks a magic soup dumpling that can cure his fear of death. An aspiring chef realizes that butter and soul are the key ingredients to win a cooking competition that could win him the money to save his mother's life. Welcome to Hungry Hearts Row, where the answers to most of life's hard questions are kneaded, rolled, baked. Where a typical greeting is, "Have you had anything to eat?" Where magic and food and love are sometimes one and the same. Told in interconnected short stories, Hungry Hearts explores the many meanings food can take on beyond mere nourishment. It can symbolize love and despair, family and culture, belonging and home. So if you want me to read this, vote Hungry Hearts. Just reading that made me hungry. All right, next up. And next up we have, ooh, that was a good catch. The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. I feel like I've read this, but it could have just been I read a different Maureen Gu book. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. This does look like one I still own and I have not read. This says, from the author of I Believe in a Thing Called Love, which is probably the one I'm thinking of. A laugh out loud story of love, new friendships, and one unique food truck. Clara Shin lives for pranks and disruption. When she takes one joke too far, her dad sentences her to a summer working on his food truck, the Cobra, alongside her uptight classmate, Rose Carver. Not the carefree summer Clara had imagined, but maybe Rose isn't so bad. Maybe the boy named Hamlet, yes Hamlet, crushing on her is pretty cute. Maybe Clara actually feels invested in her dad's business. What if taking this summer seriously means that Clara has to leave her old self behind? With Maureen Gu's signature warmth and humor, The Way You Make Me Feel is a relatable story of falling in love and finding yourself in the places you'd never thought to look. So if you want me to read this, vote The Way You Make Me Feel. All right, next up. Next up we have His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. I'm pretty sure I still own this, and I have not read it. I am going to double check. Got Einstein back here going. Okay, so His Dark Materials is actually the name of the series. The first book is called The Golden Compass. I do remember many years ago, probably before I had picked up this book, that I watched the movie The Golden Compass and really, really enjoyed it, which is what made me want to pick up the book. This says, Philip Pullman takes readers to a world where humans have animal familiars and where parallel universes are within reach. A war is brewing in Lyra's world, a battle between those who would keep people in ignorance and those who are willing to fight for true freedom. Lyra is thrust into the middle of the conflict when her uncle, Asriel, comes to Oxford fermenting rebellion and when her best friend Roger suddenly disappears. Lyra learns that Roger was kidnapped by a shadowy organization that steals children and, it's rumored, experiments on them. To find him, she will travel to the cold far north where the armored bears and witch clans rule, and where her uncle Asriel is attempting to build a bridge to a parallel world. What Lyra doesn't know, mustn't know, is that her actions will have the consequences not just in her world, but in all the worlds beyond. A masterwork of storytelling and suspense, Philip Pullman's award-winning The Golden Compass is the first in his Dark Materials series, which continues with The Subtle Knife and The Amber Spyglass. So yeah, this is actually The Golden Compass. So if you want me to read this, vote The Golden Compass. All right, next up. Well, as far as like the magic and stuff, I don't know. Anyway, Next up we have Made for You by Melissa Marr. I'm not sure about this one. Okay, it looks like this is one that I do still own and have not read. This says, Eva Tilling wakes up in the hospital to discover she possesses a strange new skill, the ability to foresee people's deaths when they touch her. While she is recovering from her hit-and-run accident, Nate, an old flame, reappears, and the two must traverse the rocky pass as they figure out how to use Eva's power to keep their friends and each other from falling into the hands of a killer. This contemporary romantic suspense novel from five-time New York best-selling author Melissa Marr earned widespread critical acclaim, with Kirkus Reviews calling it a riveting whodunit that delivers a bouquet of teen romance, paranormal, and thriller. And BCCB declared, between the suspense, the horror, the romance, and the wit, this will have equal appeal for fans of Sarah Dessen and Rosemary Clement Moore. A stark departure from her fantasy settings, this Southern Gothic, racy thriller gives fans old and new, chilling twists, unrequited obsession, and high-stakes romance. So if you want me to read this, vote Made for You. All right, next up. Next up we have 99% Mine by Sally Thorne. I can't remember if I read 99% Mine. I'll have to check. I know I read The Hating Game, and I enjoyed it. Oh, actually, I unhauled 99% Mine. All right, next up. Next up, we have Flight Season by Marie Marquardt. I know I said that wrong. I don't know. I will be happy when I have gotten my collection down to where I actually know, without having to look it up, I know what books I have, or that I could just turn my head and see what books I have all in one room. Since I used to be able to do that in our old house because I had my library, but now in this house, with my books separated into so many different rooms, it would be nice if they were all just they could fit on just these 5 shelves here where I could just see. Okay, so this is one that I do still own and have not read, and actually should be in this room. Yep, I can see it over there. See, that's nice. I have them in alphabetical order by author's last name, so I know generally where to look, and so that does make this a whole lot easier. Okay, so this says, back when they were still strangers, TJ Cavallo witnessed the only moment in Vivi Flanagan's life when she lost control entirely. Now TJ can't seem to erase that moment from his mind, no matter how hard he tries. Vivi doesn't remember any of it, but she's determined to leave it far behind, and she will. But when Vivi returns home from her first year away at college, her big plans and TJ's ambition to become a nurse land them both on the heart ward of a university hospital, facing them with a long and painful summer together. 3 months of glorified babysitting for Angel, the problem patient on the hall. Sure, Angel may be suffering from a life-threatening heart infection, but that doesn't make him any less of a pain. As it turns out, Angel Solace has a thing or two to teach them about all those big plans and the incredible moments when love gets in their way. So if you want me to read this, vote Flight Season. All right, next up. Next up we have The Other Side of Lost by Jessie Kirby. I feel like I've unhauled this one. No. Seriously, every time I guess, I'm wrong. So I do still own this. I have not read it. This says, Girl Online meets Wild, in this emotionally charged story of a girl who takes to the wilderness to rediscover herself and escape the superficial persona she created on social media. Mari Turner's life is perfect. That is, at least to her thousands of followers who have helped her become an internet starlet. But when she breaks down and posts a video confessing she's been living a lie, that she isn't the happy, in-love, inspirational online personality she's been trying so hard to portray, it goes viral and she receives major backlash. To get away from it all, she makes an impulsive decision to hike the entire John Muir Trail. Mari and her late cousin Bree were supposed to do it together to celebrate their shared 18th birthday, but that was before Mari got so wrapped up in her online world that she shut anyone out who questioned its worth, like Bree. With Bree's boots and trail diary, a heart full of regret, and a group of strangers that she meets along the way, Amari tries to navigate the difficult terrain of the hike. But the true challenge lies within, as she searches for the way back to the girl she fears may be too lost to find herself. So if you want me to read this, vote The Other Side of Lost. All right, it looks like we're down to the final book. Da-da-dun-dun, da-da-dun-dun-dun. Okay. All right, next up. And then last but not least, this is a book I learned about from Kayla over at Books and Lala. That is Amal Unbound. I do think I've read Amal Unbound. Pretty sure. If it's the one that I'm thinking of. Yes, I have read it and still own it. Okay, so we have 7 books that I still own and have not read, which is terrible considering that haul was only 11 books. It's terrible. So yeah, I'm very disappointed in myself with that. So these are the books you have to vote for. You can vote for Loser, Hungry Hearts, The Way You Make Me Feel, The Golden Compass, Made for You, Flight Season, or The Other Side of Lost. So comment down below which book or books you would like for me to read in the upcoming month, and I will pick the #1 voted book. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.